Hey there, friends. It's just me again. I hope you've been doing well. While I am really enjoying our time here together on An Artist's Way of Healing, I do have to say that during my process pursuing this whole podcast thing, I really had time to reflect on what matters most in my life and how I can use that to help heal me from things that I am struggling with. That included me figuring out what my own purpose in life is and what I want for myself. In order for me to figure that out, I needed to really see where I was in my life and ask myself, how can I move forward in a positive direction? I needed to ask myself, who were the people that positively influenced me to succeed? I needed to ask myself, who wanted to see me grow mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually to my fullest potential without imposing judgment? To see who were the people in my corner that defended my name instead of spoke negatively about me when I wasn't present. To see who were the ones who genuinely wanted to like me for me and not be threatened by the person that I wanted to become. Those are the people that I want to see more of and to learn and grow from. These people in my corner gave me motivation to becoming a more selfless person, to become someone who people will look up to and trust. So, what else do I want to talk to you guys about then, do you ask? Well, a lot. But for today, I want to talk to you about negative feelings, boundaries, art, and the path that we can take to becoming a better, kinder, and more purer person without overstepping into anyone's comfort zone or boundaries. Now, believe me, I am the first person to tell you that negative feelings are almost guaranteed. No one is perfect. We all get those negative feelings. It happens to every single person. Sometimes we get them and think poorly about ourselves, and sometimes those negative feelings get imposed on others. It's almost like a territorial reaction. Sometimes we feel we need to behave a certain way with others to feel more content in our own lives. We feel like we need to impose on others' lives or to put someone down to feel dominant. Sometimes we feel like it makes us stronger, and that if we negatively impact someone's life, we accomplish something great. To put it in an arts perspective, let's say that you are in the final stages for an audition of a production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma to land the leading role of Curly, but it just so happens to be you and your best friend up for the role. Then the casting notice comes out and you are delivered the unfortunate news that you did not get the role of Curly, but your best friend did. Not only did this happen for this production, but it has happened on multiple occasions. You then start to doubt yourself and perhaps even become jealous of your friend's talent. You then start to taunt your friend for getting the lead role by telling him he's not that great of a performer, and proceed to tell him and others that he never should have been cast as Curly because of X, Y, and Z. So what do you think the reaction that you just had with your friend did? What did you solve in your own life, but also the relationship that you both had? Is he a horrible friend for receiving something that you wanted and that he also wanted? Did it make you a better person to call him out? Did it make you feel better? If it did, you might be the only one feeling better. These feelings for a lot of people are possible reasons why friendships can sometimes fade away or turn sour. Of course, this is not always the case, but it definitely does give you something to be bothered about. Now, just because you didn't get the role doesn't mean that there is an immediate conflict between you and said person. I'm not saying that. Being envious is a completely normal thing. You can still be envious and have a healthy relationship with someone. In fact, maybe that envy may drive you to work harder for what you want for yourself to achieve future goals. Perhaps it will even give you a different mindset of where you want your own life to go. After all, everyone has their own path in life. That's what makes each and every one of us unique. Being an envious person is okay. We're human. We can feel this way. It's only natural. It's the way you act upon the envy that matters more. The point where envy actually starts to become a problem is when you let envy affect your daily life and your relationship with others. So let's talk about that. Of course, I'm not saying that the person that is being envied is not part of the problem. I wouldn't be truthful if I didn't point that out. It can go the other way too. These points of negativity and envy are where human instincts such as, that should be mine, or narcissistic behaviors, or greed get in the way of what really matters in a relationship. You start to get these negative feelings of that other person because you feel that they are not worthy of such high esteemed rewards that have come to them. You start to think of the why didn't I get that role? Or what do they have that I don't? Or I have more talent, so I'm better. Or even I have more experience, so they should do what I do and say. Some people may never say what they feel to that other person either. Others will let these negative feelings sit and fester with them for days, even years, until it boils out of control, and then they will lash out, sometimes even inappropriately. Others will express their feelings immediately. Part of the reason why people lash out like this is because they think that by reacting this way, they will heal themselves from whatever internal pain that they are feeling, as opposed to actually sitting and talking with the person about their feelings in a calming manner. But ask yourself, wouldn't you rather heal yourself and heal the relationship? You have to ask yourself, is lashing out really worth it? The problem with this is that if someone is accused of doing something to someone else due to envious feelings, such as lashing out, it is not as easy as a simple conversation. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. We'll put this in another arts perspective. Let's go back to the Oklahoma audition and that relationship. Let's say you are the most talented actor in the room and get cast instead of your friend every time you go up for the same role. But then every single time you get cast in your desired role instead of your friend, you have a negative attitude that will make your friend feel beneath you, or you make them feel like you are better than them. There will most likely be an argument to commence with both sides putting up their guard. This doesn't help the situation, as the person who may have very well earned the role turned a positive situation into a negative. Another example might be working together on a basic theatrical production, having different opinions on the main message of the show, and contrasting opinions on what the characters' objectives are in each respective scene. Some people will also feel the need to state their own opinions on what works or doesn't work in a scene, but will also feel the need to take control of the show, the scene, how the characters should act, all without the other person's consent or thoughts. This leaves the other person with mixed feelings and perhaps in a difficult situation that could potentially put them at risk of delivering a poor performance. This takeover can turn into a negative feeling that could result in a bigger altercation with others involved. This is where I want to talk about boundaries and how you should respect other people's decisions even if you don't agree with them. In the society that we live in today, people feel that when and if we don't agree with them, we are choosing to offend them. We need to relearn as a society that disagreeing with one another is not at the purpose of offending one another, but to make a conscious decision of choosing a different self-choice of what you feel is right for you, even though it may not align with someone else's ideals. We need to relearn as a society that not wanting to agree with someone is not purposefully trying to inflict harm on someone. It is about making your own unique decision that will help develop you to the best you can be. Therefore, respecting one another's opinions and choices and their boundaries about what is comfortable to them is super important to any healthy relationship. Because let's be real, no one wants unsolicited advice if it means throwing away your own personal values. The same thing can be said for an intimate scene in a show or movie. If two people are intended to be intimate during a stimulating sex or nude scene per script, wouldn't it be important to ensure that all parties feel comfortable with how the scene should go? Should one person not feel comfortable, the scene should be stopped and an intimacy director should reassess the scene so that all parties feel safe. We need to understand that just because someone is saying no or wants to do something differently, that doesn't mean that they don't like you. It means that they are their own person and they feel that they want to be able to make their own choices in life and not be scolded for deciding to be different or choosing different. Think about your favorite role model. They are leading their own life, have goals that they have set out before themselves, and strive to live a life that's worthwhile and successful in their own way. Eventually, people start to notice and want to follow because they become role models to others and are hopefully a positive influence in their lives. Every day, people choose to follow those role models because they want to be like them. Sure, go ahead. That could be a good thing. Be like them if that helps make you grow. But also make sure to put a little bit of you in there. People want to see you and want to like you for you. Don't try to be someone you're not. Let me take you down memory lane and give you an example. When we were kids, we were used to having fun. We played outside. We didn't worry about the world. We developed friendships for the first time. We started to identify ourselves and our potential. We started to figure out our likes and our dislikes. We were honest with ourselves and others. We did kid stuff, and we were just being happy, silly, goofy kids. But somewhere along the way, we changed. We made ourselves into a societal robot. We started following trends, maybe because we wanted to fit in and be a part of society. We tried to adapt. We tried to find what is normal and see if that helped us on our journey. But did it? Did it really help us, or did it just mask who we really are or want to be? In today's society, we are so worried about having the best clothes, the best iPhones, the best designer brands, going to fancy restaurants, taking the best vacations, attending the most expensive concerts, having the best trendy items, and more. Our brains are conditioned by society to think that wearing or having fancy things makes us more valuable. But the truth is, other than making someone else jealous, having temporary happiness, or filling the pockets of the CEOs at the top of that company, what else does it do for you? Think back again to when you were a kid. Did you need expensive things to make you feel better? Maybe, or maybe not. That's up to interpretation. We didn't used to. My 1-year-old plays with boxes and paper and seems to be happier than any average adult. Sure, he gets upset and cries. He's a baby. Isn't that in every baby's nature? But to think a box or a piece of paper is worth less than $1 and is the most valuable thing to a baby. Now think about that. How did we go from cherishing things such as a box or a piece of paper to things that sometimes break the bank, only to realize that it may not necessarily fulfill you down the road? We all have different values in life. Just remember, as motivational speaker Dhar Mann always says, what someone's trash is another person's treasure. Let's go back to the box and the piece of paper for a second. Whenever my son sees these things, his face lights up and he smiles from ear to ear. It may not be much, but it makes him happy. It fulfills him to play with something, even if it may be worthless. No societal norm told him to love these things. No one said play with these papers and boxes. In fact, he plays more with these boxes and papers than his own toys. Now think to yourself, did society make him make that decision? We have to think about what we ourselves really value and not what society wants us to value. Perhaps that's why a lot of us struggle to find healing and happiness. So let's be real with ourselves for a minute. Like, seriously look at ourselves. A lot of the time, people are not being who they are meant to be. What I mean by that is, a lot of the time, we as a society are either trying to be someone we are not by following people we shouldn't be following, or letting ourselves go to peer pressure because we feel that's the right way to go, or it's the cool way that we should peer pressure others to follow their specific ways. Sometimes we are agreeing with someone just because we feel like we need to do it to be safe or included and to just not be judged. The truth is, that's not healing anyone. You're only hurting yourself more. Eventually, when someone realizes that they are going down a path that they don't want or don't like the person they are becoming, they will first need to undo whatever they have done to themselves and make the realization that they don't want to be who they thought they wanted to be. That could be very hard for some people. After so many years of being one way, how do you change yourself? It's definitely a process that doesn't come overnight. Picture a big open wound. It doesn't heal overnight. It heals over time. We are not going to be perfect on our journey to undoing the ways we were in the past. We are still going to have hurdles. We aren't perfect. But during these difficult times, it's important to stay the path and still stick to our goals of healing ourselves from what we don't want anymore, and to continue to motivate ourselves to be who we want to be going forward. Moral of the story: don't be afraid to be you, and don't let others' negativity get in the way of allowing you to just be you. At the end of the day, you are the one who needs to live your life every day. Remember, there are going to be a lot of people who would love to see you fail and be miserable. But also remember, there are a lot of people who want to see you succeed and grow. Go to those people who want the best for you and who want you to stay positive. Don't think that the bad in your life is the end result. Find the good in your life and let that lead you to a fulfilling path. The last thing I want to say and leave you with as we wrap up season 1 of this journey is don't ever apologize to anyone for being you. You are the maker of your own plan. You can be whatever you want to be, like whatever you want to like, and do whatever you want to do. Never let anyone get in the way of your happiness or how you want to live your life. You are the best person you know, and you know what is right for you. Don't ever take someone's harsh words and think negatively about yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person those people are hurting are themselves. Be you and always choose to heal yourself. As Lin-Manuel Miranda once said, love is 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 love cannot be killed or swept aside. With that said, we are coming to a wrap here for season 1 on An Artist's Way of Healing. Although this season may be over, I would still love to hear from all of you out there on your healing journeys. Please feel free to always reach out to me. I want to hear your stories at anartistswayofhealing@gmail.com or by writing to me on Instagram or Facebook at An Artist's Way of Healing pages. Please send me a message. I would love to hear all about your art journeys or journeys in general to find healing. Let's talk about it. Thanks again for listening. But for now, signing off, friends. Take care of yourselves. With love, Jonathan.